In this exercise, we will use the code that's found in Examples. Click on File, Examples, under Basics, and Blink. This code has already been written to talk to our Arduino, so it'll light or cause to blink the LED that's built on the board, and it will also cause anything connected to pin 13 to also blink. Let's take a look at the wiring guide that we'll be using. We'll be using the SparkFun Inventor's Kit guide to help us put together our circuit, which includes one LED, one resistor, and our Arduino board. Now let's take a look at the program. In this gray area, this is all considered the comment area. This describes our program and is really written for us. It's not written for the Arduino card or the compiler. So anything that's gray, these comments, the author will explain how his code works. Our program is divided into two parts. We have the setup part, which sets our pin 13 to output mode, and the loop part, which actually writes a high or a low to pin 13, with a delay between each time it changes the value. Let's connect our board. I'll start with the LED. The LED has two leads that come down, and you can tell from the guide that we've been using that the long lead is our anode side and the short lead is our cathode, long being the plus side and the short lead the ground side. So I'm going to place this in just two holes, and as a reminder, when I plug them into these holes in this breadboard, there are 5 holes in a row. Those 5 holes are all connected to the same wire inside. That means anything else I plug into the other 4 holes is connected to this wire of the LED. Same is true for the other wire. It has another set of 5 holes that will connect to that wire, and that's how I will connect my components. I'm also going to take the diode and we'll connect it from the negative side to ground. Do you remember our power strip or our bus is here? Anything along this blue line, this whole row of pins, is its own wire from one end to the other. There's another wire not connected to the blue wire, but beside it, that's labeled by the red line, and that's from one end to the other. All of these pins are connected together into one node or one bus. I have one more wire to connect, and that's my signal wire. And today I'm going to use a red wire that will go from the positive side of my diode or my LED and connect to pin 13. There. I believe our circuit's ready. All we have to do now is upload the code. Now let's upload our program and see if it will change our blinking in our LED. We'll upload our program. There's the transmit, and it's done, and our LED is blinking. What I'd like you to do is to go back to the code and see if you can change the code to cause the LED to blink faster or slower. In this next step of our exercise, we're going to add 2 more components and take away 1. And that will include also another diode. What I'd like to do is take out the yellow LED and replace it with a red one. If I notice which way the pins go, I should be able to plug it directly into the same place, and the red LED will blink just as the yellow one did. And beside it, I'd like you to add one more LED. Now this was a blue LED. It happens to have a clear plastic around it. We'll plug it in much the same way. You already know in what direction and how to connect the components. And we'll connect a blue wire from that new LED to pin 10. Now let's go change our code so that it will light up that blue LED. Well, with our circuit plugged in, let's change our code to match our blue LED. Now I could copy some of these lines and change the numbers, but I think I'll actually change my program. I'll start by copying this line. My favorite way to copy, by the way, is to click below, right against the edge. Holding my mouse down, I'll drag my mouse up, and that will select a line. If I press Control C and then Control V, it does a copy and a paste. Now I can change these values. But before we do that, we're going to change our program a little bit. We're going to actually add a new element called a variable. In this, we're going to name some value to be our pins. We're going to have set that value to have some kind of characteristic. In this case, I want it to be a number. I want it to be a whole number, like an integer. So we'll use the code int, int, space, and this is for my LED, but it's the red one. And notice I chose a pattern of capitalizing the R. It's important that I make sure all of the values that I use in a variable's name are used exactly the same way. In other words, it matters if it's capital or not. We call that case sensitive. Let's do another one. This time, this is going to be for the blue. And a good programmer would label this, put a comment saying, this is the blue LED pin. There we are. And we'll move on. So down here, I would simply change this to be LED red. I notice I did capitalize and type it exactly the same way as above, and LED blue. Now I suppose we could have figured it out on our program, which is which, but if you have a long complicated program, it can be difficult to figure out what numbers, what pins go to what part of your circuit. Now notice again I've selected the line below, the section I want to copy. I'll just drag my mouse up and I'll press Control C. I can press Control V, and now I have a duplicate set. This is going to be for LED red and LED red. Okay, let's check our code. I'll export. Oh, it looks like there's an error. Let's find out what that error is about. Oh, my comments codes. The two slash marks were the wrong kind. I need to use the /, which is down by the question mark. Notice that my code changed from black, which is this programming color, to a comment color gray. Let's try our export again. Oh, I made another mistake. It looks like the L in red, or the R in red, is not capitalized. Let's try it again. Now it seems to be compiling. There's my red LED and my blue LED. Oh, and they're blinking. But let's not stop there. Let's make this go faster. Let's switch over to... But let's not stop there. Let's change the code so that the LEDs don't spend any time turned off. And to do that, I think I'll just take away this delay line. Now, one of the ways I like to take away code is to comment it out first. Make sure I don't break my program altogether. So it turns it on, turns it off, so I'll comment out this delay as well. Now I should go right from turn on the red to turn on the blue. Let's upload this, see what it looks like. There it goes. So now both LEDs are blinking alternately. There's no delay. If I make this go faster, I could probably make this look like a police car. Let's change the code and see if we can get it to go faster. To make this go faster, I'll let you change some of these numbers, the numbers in the delay. And this concludes our project for the red and blue LED.